Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the C-Word Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Olivia.
And I'm your 10 episode host, Ribu Thomas.
We made it to 10 episodes.
Number 10. Wrong button. Try another one. 10 episodes
and we still
10 episodes. Yay. The only things I've done 10 of is maybe 10 nuggets from McDonald's.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That 10-piece nugget.
That's probably the farthest I got to the number 10.
Yeah. This is a big milestone for us.
Is.
So for today's episode, we are doing a couple of things. 10 episodes. We're doing 10 push. No, I'm just kidding. We are recording this without any outline. Typically, I have my laptop here and Ribu has his phone there.
Uncut.
And we look at like the outline, the bullet points.
Yeah.
Nada today.
This is uncut. This is
and
the C-Word Chronicles uncut, uncircumcised.
Right. And I'm feeling really insecure right now.
You are?
Yeah. How about you?
I feel vulnerable.
Yeah, I feel real vulnerable.
Very vulnerable.
So
like, what am I going to say today?
I know. And guess what today is too?
Today is Martin Luther King Day.
No, today we're recapping New Orleans. Oh, that's all what today is. There's no... We did chaos as the C word last time. Totally appropriate.
Today the C stands for New Orleans.
Right. So we're going to get into it. See, this is so hard because I usually take a glance at my laptop and it says get into the next segment.
Yeah.
But don't you worry, guys. I know what the next segment is. Right. It is the weather update and sports update.
That's right.
So the weather update is, Jesus Lord, help us and save us. It is so freaking hot.
Yeah.
And it's very hazy.
Have you ever seen when they cook an egg on top of the car?
Yes.
Like,
they could totally do that.
Are we should keep that as our barometer, keeping it in weather terms.
You mean, barometer.
Yeah. Before you say barometer.
I was going to say barometric pressure.
Yeah. But like, are we fried egg?
I think it's
hot.
I think so. So we're in the, this is what I would have had on my laptop. Active subtropical jet.
Okay.
Is what I heard on the news.
Is this coming
today.
from the Amazon?
No. It's coming from the west.
Subtropical sounds.
And it literally, like on the TV today on the news, it was just like this oblong oval of red color
coming our way
that's here.
Oh, it's here.
The jet, something with the
wind. The jet stream. No, you're right.
Yeah.
The Pacific winds.
Active subtropical jet.
Question.
Is what we're in right now.
What ocean is next to California?
Pacific.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just making sure.
And that's about it. Weather. Well, okay. Thoughts and prayers to New York and the North with all that.
It's Canada that has the wildfires.
No, not the. Well, yes, but New York, you can't.
But no, they're okay. Pray for New York.
Well, they're fine, but New York, you can't see shit in.
But isn't the wildfires in Canada? Don't they need prayers too?
I think they're okay.
They probably say sorry for it.
I think they're fine. But did you see those things on Instagrams of New York and people can't even see
orange, right?
In front of them? Ugh, that was nasty.
That's nasty. Yeah,
they're wearing
cancel
masks
like a bunch
again.
of stuff.
Yeah.
What is? I remember at some point in life I kept hearing about the African dust that comes over. Is that coming over soon?
Don't know. I'll have to check in.
Where are you going to check it in?
That's a great question, Ribu. As somebody who studies meteorology, it's really important. Yeah. But right now we're really focusing on the active.
Yeah, but let's get back to
subtropical
dust. Remember we watched this whole documentary where African dust comes over to this side of the continent? Of the world. Mm-hmm. And from Africa. And it's responsible for like so many... As we say,
Continue.
The ecosystem. As we say, the ecosystem. It's so important.
Right.
Do you remember watch that?
It's important from that documentary of the farm. Not Once Upon a Farm. What is that documentary called? Highly recommend.
It was that British guy who narrates.
Yes,
the African dust.
It's really devastating to a lot of crop and farmers.
Oh, no, I thought it helps them.
Well, I don't know.
well, pretty much. I just remember that being a problem.
Yeah, it's always an issue. Or a good problem. And then, like I said, last podcast that we're already doing the fear mongering of the sweltering heat. Super now. They're like, stay inside. Air quality is really bad. If you have asthma, don't breathe or move. And then it's stay inside from the hours of this and this. You know what always gets me, though, is when they're like, stay cool. But then Texas says, hey, if you have it in you, jack up the AC and let's preserve that energy. And let's go into the eco
and like they offer you
mode.
Rewards for
I'm like,
eco mode.
I'm damn near dying.
And it ain't like a 73 they want the eco mode. They're want like a 76.
Let's go 76 plus. If you can
Who do you think we are?
If you can get to 80, bonus points for you.
Yeah.
And you win, you get nothing. No. But it's always this like highly recommended thing. And I think it's annoying.
I'm all for supporting the grid.
What do you want?
Grid, on grid, off grid.
Right.
Build a grid. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
It's just it's just a little like disrespectful, I feel.
It is.
You know, we're over here dying and they're like, hey, if you can.
And it changes automatically on our thermostat. I think I signed up for something.
You signed up for something every freaking day.
No, I got a rebate.
Yeah, but at 3 p.m.
I guess I can
when our son.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, our son is taking a nap.
He needs to know.
It's like at 80 degrees in his room, and then I have to turn off the eco mode.
He's half Indian, therefore he's cold-blooded.
Okay.
You know?
Fair. We'll see if he makes it this summer. Just kidding. Love you, Julian.
Hope you survive.
Anyway, so that's the weather update.
The sports update, the biggest thing in sports is we just had the NBA Finals finished with Nuggets winning. Mm-hmm. Nuggets won in, I didn't know this was called when they win in 5 games, a gentleman's sweep.
Oh, get out.
This is according to Dan Patrick, who...
DP.
Yeah,
we
DP.
Love him. He's so comforting. I used to hate him.
You don't like DP.
But he is somewhat comforting.
Yeah, Dan Patrick. And we had the Las Vegas Golden Knights win the NHL.
Oh, right. Isn't that the first in like a long time for them?
No, they've only been around 6 years.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
They were an expansion team.
Now, did you predict Denver Nuggets winning?
Yes, they're just so good of a team. Like, I've never seen someone win a championship and be so sad at the same time. Like,
why?
Jokic.
You be so sad?
No, Joker. Jokic, he won and they interviewed him and he was like, the job is done. It's time to go home.
Dang, just a robot over here, a machine.
Yeah, and then they interviewed him again, and they were like, "Are you excited for the parade?" And he looked around. He's like, "When's the parade?" And they were like, "It's Thursday." And he was like, oh, "I got to get home for horse racing on Sunday." And supposedly all he cares about is buying horses, training horses, and horse racing.
He got money.
Like this is like a 9 to 5 for him.
I mean, he did the job.
He was killing
clocked in,
it.
Clocked out.
Right hook, left hook. 3-pointer, passing.
Right.
He's like 280 pounds. Who are
his supporting teammates? The one from Canada.
Kind of. Jamal Murray. Very talented. He tore his ACL last year and came back.
The feminine-looking one, sort of, kind of.
With the
hair. Not dread. He doesn't have dreads.
Michael Porter?
No.
Aaron Gordon?
Yes.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon played really good.
Yeah.
Defensively, offensively. He had 27 points in the game.
He seems large.
Yeah,
he's a big guy.
Their guards are, like their forwards are 6'7", probably plus.
Dang.
And I mean, Aaron Gordon's a good defender. Michael Porter, I don't think is known as a good defender, but he played really good in the finals in terms of like rebounding and timely stops. Then you got KCP, Kendall. What is his name?
I had no idea who you're talking
about. I know Caldwell Pope. I don't know his first name, but he at one point played with the ankle monitor. Not in the finals, but like previous seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
How did we get away with that?
I don't know.
Now let's talk about Miami for a little bit because our nephew Cam is gung-ho on...
Shout out to Cam, Addie, Zara,
Brandon,
and
Kaya. Who? That's it. All our nieces and nephews.
Yeah, they're just watching at home.
But I remember he agreed with his Olivia Chechi.
Okay, what did he say?
In saying that, I just lost his name.
Butler.
But Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's son.
So for reference,
he agreed with me, and that's all I need.
My nieces and Addie didn't agree with you.
Addie did not.
Which that's my niece.
And that's but Cam.
I don't know if Cam was this before Cam. I don't know if he heard you.
No, stop it. It was after, and yeah. So I said I'm justified.
Yeah,
I can let that lie.
He was very confident that Jimmy Butler is the son of Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
and
because they look so similar.
But the way he played,
no, he wasn't. Because he said they have 2 different names.
Yes,
Addie was okay. Well, right. I love you both, but Addie was like, yeah, they look similar. Yeah. And
I think Cam said no, they have 2 different last names.
Yeah.
It's like one's Butler, one's Jordan.
That makes sense, Cam. That makes sense.
Yeah. Miami played good. Miami was a good team. A lot of grit. And I think this is the first 8th seed to make it to the finals. which is very impressive. Like, they don't have, like, Bam Adebayo isn't like a big center.
What'd you call me?
He's their big man.
Okay.
And he's in a big center. Like, he's not as big as Jokic, but he played really good. And they just had like a small team, a bunch of undrafted players.
Oh, on Miami.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, right. You told me that.
And
which I was kind of rooting for them for that reason,
sure.
Kind of an underdog moment. But they just did not play this last game very well. They didn't bring it.
I don't think Butler played really well. Like, Butler didn't do much.
Yeah. So
like he scored most of his points in the fourth quarter, I think.
Yeah, and they just ran away with it and took it. And that's okay.
Yeah, and then that's the funnest thing: the celebration after winning, seeing everyone pop the champagne and.
Yeah, I feel like going to a parade in honor of you. Imagine what that feels like in your city.
Yeah,
that's so freaking cool.
And the whole city's out there,
and everybody's just like celebrating you, and you're on top of the float thing, and that would be so
for the
fun.
parade.
For the parade, yeah. And I remember everybody would get like super drunk.
You went to the parade for San Antonio, right?
I don't think I ever did. No,
I think Jobin went. Jobin Joseph.
Oh, I did. No, that wasn't for them winning. That was or was it for them winning? Girl, I don't remember. That
wasn't it you, Jobin Joseph, and Nicole.
Yeah, and Sam Steele.
And then y'all were in our group.
Dude, I didn't make it the next day.
Yeah, y'all came.
It was for somebody. Oh, it was for Tim Duncan's retirement.
Was it?
Yeah, at the Alamo Dome. And Jobin, for some reason, had tickets or something, and we all went, and then we went out downtown, and that's it.
And then I remember y'all came this is when we were in PT school, came the next day, and y'all were just out of it. They were like, Olivia, where is the lateral malleolus?
I was like, come back to me, please. I think I fell asleep under like one of the desks.
Yeah, I remember that. You fell asleep. Nicole, too.
I was having a rough time. It was a rough night, but it was fun because Timmy D, my first love, was retiring. We had to send him off the right way.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's continue in today's segment. We're going to get into the shenanigans we got into New Orleans. But the first thing we need to do is address our peaks and pits.
You can go first?
No, you go first because I'm trying to think what mine are.
My peak is seeing all my friends. I got to see all my friends in New Orleans that I haven't got to see for like 3 years. I haven't seen some of these guys
like before COVID.
Years, yeah. And specifically with everything happening, I haven't seen a lot of them. So seeing them was awesome. But it's like, you know, when you meet your friends and it's like you just met them, like you haven't missed a
right? Nothing happened. What is that? Like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, what does it say?
Like you didn't miss a beat.
Yeah,
yeah. Right.
And so like. That's what it felt like. Like,
yeah.
And everybody's just like a lovey-dovey group, right? Especially when everybody's drinking, like, you just get hugs and you just get
forehead
kisses on the
cheeks and back hugs.
Yeah.
Like where they hug you from behind.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like everyone's just so happy. This was for my friend Soben, his 40th birthday. It's crazy to think he's 42 because I think I known him since I was 13.
Yeah, and
was he 8 years older than me?
I loved your relationship with him too. I think he has such a special place in your life.
Yeah, so like, seeing him and his 40th, and seeing all the other guys, some of them who are going to turn 40, and then seeing like Noel, Nikhil.
Shout out! Yeah, I was telling my mom about it. I don't know if anybody else like debriefs with their mom. I'm just super close to my mom. Sunday night, you go over, you have wine, you debrief. Because I hadn't seen her for a week because before that she was on vacation as well. And I was trying to explain like the dynamic of all the friends that were in New Orleans. And I was like, well, there's the older group who is like not like older meaning they are.
No, they're older. We call them older. We call them older.
They're like around 40. And then there's the younger group who are like our age. And is everybody at least
Noel's
30?
about 41.
Okay. But they're like at least 30.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
30.
I think Vincent's 32, yeah.
Yeah, so I was explaining that and how, you know, they would just look out for you, take you under your wing and support you through your whole life, really.
Yeah, they were just so helpful.
And one of my favorite things, the most special things to see is Rib reconnecting with like his old friends. It's so sweet. Yeah. It's just the cutest thing. And we were there like, well, I guess we'll get into it, but yeah, that was just like.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun seeing all of them. I have another peak.
Okay.
Is my parents coming down. They drove all the way down just to help us or just to support us going to New Orleans. And to watch Julian from like Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And they watched him. They did, obviously amazing. And Juju just loves them. Like, he didn't want to come back to us. When
Matter of fact, yeah.
He was like avoiding us when we got back home.
Yeah, we came home when we were so excited to see him. And like, I'm like, where's Juju? And he was with your mom playing.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, smiled, and then turned his head and looked away and continued playing. And then he continued to give us both like the side eye.
Didn't want to come to us.
At us. He was just ignoring us.
Yeah. And so... and that's kind of cool.
This is a good problem.
And that's kind of cool to see, like, your kid is really close to your parents.
Your parents, yeah.
And so just for them to drive all the way down, it's not like the easiest drive. It could be like 5, 6, sometimes 6 hours, right?
Mm-hmm. And they were here, a week or 2 weeks prior to that?
Yeah, to help with us in
because you had to go get chemo.
So they're just driving and helping. And so I can't be more grateful for great parents who come down to do all that.
Yeah.
Mom and dad. And then just like even in the name of support. Just like
get into it.
I know everyone's happy. Like even my brother and Tina and the kids, like happy we are getting to do this and go on a trip. They're so supportive.
Yeah.
And Tiju and Tiff and
right.
all them. And, Tej had his son's baptism. And so like that's going on at the same time. And unfortunately we missed it, but like just good stuff happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody was like, y'all need to go to this. Y'all need to get away.
Yeah. Like we haven't made a trip in how long?
I was trying to remember just you and me. Do not remember. Probably for a wedding at some point before Julian, right?
Yeah, I think Tige's wedding might have been
which was before we were married.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was a long time, and it was great. Yeah, it's obviously like one of my peaks too. It's having a great vacation.
Yeah. What's your peak?
My peak is obviously New Orleans was super fun, so that's like a mutual peak. But my peak is I signed with an talent agency.
Can we hit a button? Random one.
Oh
yeah. The talents in.
So I signed a contract with a talent agency that I'm really excited about.
Yes.
And hopefully will take my career to the next level in so many things, but it was like
can't wait to be a stay-at-home dad.
A big decision. I know. It's a big decision and I feel really good about it. I feel so good about my manager who would be my manager.
Yeah. She's a PT.
Yeah, it's wild because I was telling my mom yesterday, I was like, I just want an agent or a manager who understands what I do and who I am.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, I was like, this is going to be so hard to find somebody who like gets what I do because my content is very niche. Mm-hmm. Like it's very kind of specific. I'm not just like a mom blogger. I'm not just like Dr. Olivia. I kind of like blend both and I do a lot of different things and there's a lot of diversity within what I can do. And so a lot of people, the majority of the other agencies that I've like vetted and stuff, they have no clue like truly what I do or like what I'm trying to do. They don't get it.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them. It's a kind of specialized thing, developmental PT. So I get on, I'm like, was so bummed because I had gotten this other call before and I was like, I just want somebody who knows exactly what I do. That's going to be so hard.
I want to put in more detail. You had a bad call with this same company. Like it wasn't good vibes. And you said, if I'm going to sign with this agency, I need someone who understands me. What's the list you said?
I said, who understands what I do.
Yeah.
Not only professionally, but as a social media content creator and who follows me or who like would follow me.
Yeah. So this company set up a second meeting with the particular agent you would use.
Yes.
And you were going to be like, I don't know about this.
I was going to cancel the meeting because I just wasn't, the vibe was not there with the initial one. Like no, like I highly doubt they'll.
Yeah, this was like an initial meeting with like.
It was just an initial meeting, and I was like, you know what? I don't think it's a good fit for me. Super, super great person, nice. Like no things were bad, but I just was like, I think I can do this better myself. Whatever.
Yeah.
How he was describing things, and so he's like, well, let me set you up with this specific manager that I have in mind. And so I go and complain to my mom, and I'm like, just really disappointed and kind of like bummed. And then it's really frustrating because, I've been doing this for 3 years, and then, has it been 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. And then I'm doing a lot of the work. John's been helping me, but it's becoming more of a thing where we need some additional help. And so it's just really frustrating. And so I sit down, and I was going to cancel this meeting. I was like, I don't need to talk to this person. I don't want to do it. And so I'm like, no, let me just keep the meeting. So I sit down on the Zoom, and she's like, oh, you're developmental, like pediatric. And she said peds. She's like, developmental ped. And I was like, what? I was like, how? And obviously I know she would have looked at my socials, but the way, like when you're in the medical space, there's certain things that you can quickly say, oh, you're in the medical field. So my radar was like what? And she was like, I'm a physical therapist.
Which is crazy.
I was like, what?
Like That's the chances of that happening. Like, and she doesn't even operate as a PT. She's a television.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell are you doing here? And she was like, no, I'm a women's health, pelvic floor physical therapist. I have my own, had my own practice. Her husband, I'm like giving her life story, but she was like, my husband's in residency. It's really hard. We have no schedule, you're at the whim of where he's being placed. They're moving to LA like next week because he's starting a fellowship or something like that. So, and then she has kids. She's like, I needed to be at home, work from home for my children. And she's like, and I did social media for a lot of other clinics. And so somehow this just like fell into her lap. She's been doing it for a long time.
Oh, she's doing it for a while?
For a while, yeah. And I was like, what the heck? So she's like, I know exactly, literally, like, I don't know if that was God just being like, I'm going to literally
that matched your list of what you
drop exactly what you just were complaining about into your lap. And then, when you're going into a situation and you're like, there is absolutely no way I'm going to continue with this. Like you already shut your wall, you put your wall up. So there was in me the fight of like, okay, well, so what? She's a PT. Like that doesn't mean she knows, I was like trying to actively think of reasons to go against her, but she just kept saying all of the right things. And she kept saying like certain brands that she could see me with and long-term partnerships that she could see me with, etc. She just kept going. And I was like, okay, I have to like, and I was like, I know I just talked shit about like this whole thing, but I'm gonna give you a shot.
That.
I was like, forget what I said. And so yeah, that was my peak. It was hopefully it does well. But how crazy is that?
That's crazy how that worked out to where you found someone like you were like, I'm not going to take this meeting. Then your mom said something. You're like, okay, they have to meet this very specific criteria. And then she was a PT.
Yeah. And she like sat there and I was like, what the heck? What are the chances? Yeah. And truly, like, what are the chances? Because not every day you see PTs who are not practicing aside from me and then you, right? Like like,
if you think about it though, like just in the way the past years went, not saying this is going to work out. Hopefully she's really good.
Yeah.
We've had just random people and hopefully good people pop into to help with things. Like we talk about the insurance thing or like countless other things.
Yeah. So serendipitous.
Yes. What does that mean?
Like serendipity, like it was fate.
Yeah. Just say fate next time.
That's what that means. Serendipitous sounds so much better than it was fate.
I don't know how to spell it.
Because I don't think it was necessarily fate.
It was serendipitous.
Yeah. It's just serendipitous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So, and then caveat off of that. So your girl's going to be hopefully getting some more brand deals. And here's some ways you can support me through brand deals. I saw an Instagrammer post some informative things when I was just starting out on how to support them as a creator, which I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize that what they can do for free with no commitment that helps them a ton.
Okay.
So for example, she was like, and I'm not going to say this, like, she was pretty stringent on like, if you follow me, here's what I need you to do. But I just think it's helpful to kind of know, and people may be doing this already, but like if I have a campaign or a video that's paid or my story has the link to the product I'm promoting or I'm paid to promote, clicking on the link, liking everything, commenting, saving it, sharing it obviously purchasing with my code or purchasing through a link I share helps me in a way that you don't have to commit or buy anything.
Well, the purchase part you have to buy.
Aside from if you want to purchase it.
Yeah, you don't have to purchase it.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think it's important to support your content creators because everything that I'm putting out is free on my Instagram and TikTok and things like that. So when I get these deals, obviously they're paying me to leverage my community of followers that I work really hard on nurturing. So you want to see that translate to engagement on the actual piece that I'm being paid to do.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
And like, this is not what they called an MLM. I don't know why I keep thinking of MLM when you're talking. Multi-level.
Marketing scheme. MLS. Multi-level. No,
something like that. This is not that. This is just liking or commenting on someone's post.
Yeah, and just, interacting with the brand, following the brand. Because a lot of brands will come to me and say, we just want to increase brand awareness. Yeah. And versus like, we want to see conversions of this
It's just pretty much when you have a brand that you're promoting, everyone just like it and share it. Comment.
There you go.
Simple. Yeah. Speaking of multi-level marketing, I just got to think of a funny story. You remember when on The Office, when Michael Scott was trying to get his employees to buy a product he did, and so Jim went to the thing and
he was like, there's no way this is a pyramid scheme. Yeah. He was like, you start with your boss, your manager, and then the manager gets a group of people to promote the thing. And the way he wrote it down, and then Jim goes and makes a triangle and was like, this pyramid.
But this sorry, I'm flipping subjects here. But this multi-level marketing team, when I had Omega Sports and Recovery,
they get you.
They came out of the woodworks. I'm talking about, like, where the hell did all y'all come from? The first week of me doing something at Omega, I get a call for like, hey, I work for this company. I want to help you out. Mm-hmm. That's how they all start. I want to help you out. We can bring clients your way. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm just trying to learn it. And they're like, I'm in the CrossFit world, which I was treating people. And I was like, you know what? Let's do the meeting. This bitch comes with like packs of like powdered
moringa.
No, I'm gonna get to that. This is not that. This is another lady. Like the first week, and I'm like, you're like literally came to make me part of your pyramid.
Yeah.
And I was like, no thanks. Then second, this other guy who was the tallest. I'm not gonna say his name. I don't even know. I should describe him, but he claimed he was the tallest cornerback ever. In the NFL.
Why not?
And
is he still playing?
No, hell no. He's doing a multi-level marketing thing right now.
That's true.
And he held this camp here every year and told me to come out, and then was like texting me. I thought we were cool. I was like, man, like.
At that point, you were, when you're starting out so green in the business world, you're just so excited that people are reaching out to you, and you think they're establishing like this working relationship with you, which they are, but they have an agenda of like selling you.
And stuff. So I was at the camp. He's like, hey dude, like, thanks for coming out. And I literally did nothing there. I was walking around just trying to, introduce people to Omega and give my number, whatever. And he was like, hey, thanks for coming out. So Griff, come over to the house. We're having a party at like 7:00. And I told you, I was like, hey, like, this is an NFL player having a party. I'm just going to go over for a bit, see if there's anything there. Dude, I walk in. It's a whole ass presentation.
Yeah, it's like
he's trying to sell me coffee.
Yeah, what are they like? Not trade shows, but
yeah, like his wife was
they have a table set out with everything.
Like, you need to buy this. This is life-changing coffee. This is
and you did?
No, I didn't buy it.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I didn't buy it. She was like, "This is life-changing coffee. It'll make you shit 3 times a day, like gold nuggets."
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they're like, "Who wants to buy it?" And I was like, "I'm out of here." I left.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
But the third time got me.
They got you good on that. The third time got me. I was so mad at you.
Well, it's because it was the people I was dealing with, like the guy I was dealing with.
I want to shout them out so bad because they are just not.
The guy I was dealing with, I was cool with for a year.
Yeah.
And he never mentioned shit. Mm-hmm. And he was like, hey, I have this really good friend who's really in the CrossFit industry. Let's all go out to lunch. I mean, that sounds pretty harmless, right?
Right.
And when I was there, he was like, man, like, you don't understand. Like, Moringa is the shit. Moringa is the thing. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know what he was trying to get to. At this point, you would think I started realizing what a multi-level marketing.
My baby said it went right past him.
I was just naive as hell. And he was like, he's like, plus, like, I got you. He's like, I have a bunch of CrossFit clients that I'm ready to sign on with you right now. At that point, I was like, okay, like, maybe this is an investment. Man, I bought into it. I think I paid like $500 for Moringa.
Yes, for tea. For tea.
No, it was
for
like
powder.
There was like different versions of it.
It just makes you poop.
It's like, he's like, Moringa is life-changing. And mind you, this guy didn't look good.
No.
I'm not saying he wasn't fit, but I'm like, okay.
They literally they
literally like attacked me.
Yeah,
from
they
like
attacked you from different ways.
I think I paid for my own lunch.
And they got you. Yeah, that literally, that's like what not to do.
Yeah.
At this point.
And I was like, I left there and I sat in my car with like 3 boxes of Moringa and I was like, just looking at the Moringa. What the hell? And, what did I just pay for?
And you came home and you're like, I got
Moringa.
I was like,
Moringa for you.
Lord Jesus, how much did you pay?
Yeah. And I was like,
I was so mad.
I was like, shoot, what did I just
they got you.
buy?
But that's the thing, like you get, because that's similar to me, like when I first started on social media, I've never had an issue with brands reaching out to me, big brands. I remember my first one was Love Every, which is a huge developmental toy brand who I still work with. But I think they know that you're new and I'm not saying Love Every does, but I'm saying like, they will just try and get as much as they can out of you for no cost for them. And they'll do let's set a meeting and, like be buddy and stuff. That's what all the brands
try to do, right?
And all of them will do that. So it's really hard when you're first starting out to not get like overly amped that this brand is reaching out to. Because I remember when it was 2 weeks into me starting the baby PT, remember?
Yeah.
And I looked at my DMs or something, and I remember it was around Christmas time, and they were like, hi, this is the marketing director with Love Every. And I remember screaming, and I was like, babe, oh my God. Yeah. Like, they want to send me something, and oh my gosh, this is so, and that's how they get you. And the thing is, like, with social media, there's new people every day who are more than happy to take that kind of like.
Yeah, if you're doing social media and you're starting a business, you're gonna have. I didn't realize how many people would come out for free things or trying to get you to pay for things. And that sounds dumb to say like now, but in the moment, I was like, that was my first time, so it was hard to like realize. Same for you, like it's hard to say like, oh, do I ask for money already for this brand deal?
Right.
But yes, you do.
You do. Yes, and that's something you have,
regardless of how much it is.
It's one of those things too, like you want to develop the experience of creating content for a brand before they pay you. Because if they were to pay me when I was first starting out on my social media stuff, like that would be embarrassing because I didn't know what I was doing yet. Like I didn't know my voice, my audience. I was still growing. I was still really small in terms of followers and stuff. So, you kind of have to pay your dues in that way, but you don't want to be taken advantage of for sure.
I don't even think get paid for your posts. Like if you don't, they're reaching out to you for a reason.
Yeah. So, but that's interesting. I remembered all of that. Man.
And I remember sitting at a Roots Chris one time. We were sitting at the bar, or maybe it was just me, where we used to live at the Elon. Yeah. And like, I think you were with me because all these Herbalife people walked in.
Oh, that's
right. Remember them?
You told me about it. I wasn't with you. And I remember because I know somebody who does it from college, and you were like, yeah, they were there.
Yeah. And isn't like Monet another one too?
Monet.
That kind of touchy for some of our audience members.
The hair one.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's move on. Was that your peak?
I don't know what that was. Oh no, we didn't do pits yet.
What was my peak? Oh, being signed. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your pit?
My pit is...
We interrupt the podcast for today's sponsor. Hey, podcast fam, it's time to level up your work from home game. Introducing ErgoSpace Store, your go-to destination for ergonomic office chairs that blend comfort and style. Whether you're a remote worker or creative genius, their Duo 5 black frame chair is a game changer.
Experience the perfect balance of support and relaxation. Head over to ergospacestore.com, browse their collection, and create your dream office setup. Your back and my back deserve the best, and ErgoSpace Store delivers. elevate your work experience today. Use the code C-Word Chronicles for $50 off your order. Pit is the smell of an airport. Like, does anyone else experience this? I talked to you about it in the moment.
You had plenty to say about this, subject. And I said, go on.
Like when you're in an airport, and it's mostly when you're, okay, so like you're in the airport, there's so many people, and there's obviously a lot of smells everywhere.
Okay.
Right? And I contributed to those too.
Sure.
But when you're walking in the gate, there's just this weird air that's in the gate and then gets into the airplane, and I just can't stand it.
Yeah, it's a big issue for you. So much so I was like, dang, you.
I think so much because I've traveled so much in the past month where I'm like, I just smell like that.
He just kept saying like, babe, you smell that? And I was like, what? I don't smell anything.
It just says, do you ever smell that gate air?
Yeah. I feel like it's just like very, maybe stale.
It could be.
Like a lot of.
It smells like fake air.
And, when you get into the airplane, that's fake air for a little bit, right?
And like, okay, what's even more a pit?
What?
Pit, right? Is not only the air, but then when you're sitting, I do not understand this. Let's say, like, you're ready to take off your flight's at 3. Everyone's boarded, you're in the plane.
Yeah.
But then something happens to where the plane has to sit there for like an hour and a half.
Girl.
We have that situation. Why don't you just deboard us? Why are we sitting in a hot ass plane?
Yeah.
It was hot in that plane with the air in there.
With that nasty air. Yeah. I couldn't imagine deboarding. I think I'd be more pissed if I had to deboard.
Why?
I don't know.
You'd rather sit in the plane like scrunched up next to everybody?
Dude, we were sweating, and we were coming back from New Orleans, and we were in Dallas, and we had an hour freaking flight from Dallas to San Antonio, and we were like, we're almost there, and they were like, rain and lightning in Dallas.
I swear, we couldn't see it. You lift up the window. It's sunny.
What is that your excuse? Did you forget something major? You got to go do it.
Yeah.
But we were there for like an hour on the runway, and the air was off.
Oh man!
And you were sweating. I was sweating. We were like detoxing.
And like, the guy next to me was like, he was nice, but like something was going on over there.
Yeah, he kind of kept looking, and I was like, you have a problem, sir?
I was like. Where does that come from?
Kelsey Ibarra from PT school.
So that's not a normal thing?
Oh no, that's like what? It's like a.
Like I never did that until I came to San Antonio.
No, it's like a Valley, Corpus, like, South Texas.
Do you do that, John? Okay, it's
do you know what I mean?
$20.
John's been in Corpus. You know what it is.
Anyways, back to the plane.
Okay, so my pit has something to do similar to airports too, and it is, you gotta love them, but old people specifically on their phone in public places like the airport. And let me tell you what.
I don't know what happened. I don't remember.
So last podcast I talked that I can't help but eavesdrop.
Sure.
I can't.
Yeah.
So you get an old grandma who for some reason takes all of her calls on speakerphone, and I know her Medicare number, I know her social security number, I know her sister is meeting her in the airport to go to Georgia, and they're going to do lunch tomorrow.
Where was this?
Oh, it's just everywhere, Ribu. At the airport, at MD Anderson, there was a lady, a wife of the patient. All of them talk on their phone on speakerphone. And I think it's because it's a little louder, and you can put the speaker to your ear, and that's all they do. This is them.
Hello, Beatrice.
Hi. Okay, I'm going to see you in Georgia. We're going to go to lunch. It's going to be great. Can you hear me? And they talk louder and louder. Yeah. And then they're like, wait, repeat that. What did you say? And they're so loud, and you can just hear the whole entire conversation.
So you don't like hearing the whole conversation?
I don't like it. I'm like, just take the speakerphone off. And it just bothers me. And that was very prevalent. It was running rampant in the airports for this journey.
That's a good pit.
It was really bad.
You know what also was not a pit, but I was just so curious about? When we got to New Orleans in the airport, we tried to go to Starbucks, and they said the New Orleans water was all bad.
Was that in New Orleans? Yeah.
But I was drinking water in New Orleans.
No, they didn't say the water was bad.
What did it say? It literally said we can't serve iced or hot coffee because of the water.
Oh, really? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I was like, what? How was all these other restaurants?
Maybe that's why I'm still feeling bad.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I just wanted Starbucks so bad. As people may know, I'm a Starbucks person. I have it very often. And in the French Quarter where we stayed, there isn't a Starbucks to be found, which is fine.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Fine. But there's a PJ's.
Yes.
Like the letter PJ.
Yeah, did you like PJ's?
It was okay.
Was it better than the one by our house? They just opened up PJ's by the house.
Yeah, and I don't think the Texas people get it as much. It's a very big.
It's in a random spot. Do you ever go to PJ's Coffee? Yeah, it's not that good.
It's all right. It ain't nothing like Starbucks. It did the trick. But anywho, that's my pick.
Speaking of airports, so we've flown pretty much every airline.
Yeah.
What airline is your favorite?
I mean, I don't know if I've flown it much, but I think I'm a Delta girly.
Well, Delta's what we flew there, right? No, we flew United.
Yeah, we flew United. I think I'm a Delta girly.
Why is that?
Just because I see them on Instagram and stuff, and it just looks a little better. But I don't remember last time I flew Delta. But if I had to pick the one, United, let's rank them. Yeah, United, Southwest, American,
Delta, Spirit.
Go ahead, rank them.
Okay, let's ask John.
Okay,
what's your number one airline? What a racist.
He's only done American. And Ribu said he's a racist.
Just kidding, he's not a racist. He is a foreign.
Some people still complain that their Spirit flight was awful. And it's like, baby, what did you eat?
Yeah.
They're still like they're like hoodwinked that Spirit did them dirty.
I can't do Spirit, man.
We did Spirit going to Vegas in PT school when we had no money and we were just drunk. So we didn't really care.
We were delayed by 2 hours each there and back.
I don't remember, but Spirit's definitely number 5. I'd go. Which one had the tiniest seats? Was that United?
United didn't have a tiny seat going there because we chose the exit row, but tiny seat on the way back. On the connecting.
Tiny widthwise and lengthwise or whatever. Yeah. So United, American. We flew from.
Americans had all the delays.
Yeah, you do tend to stay American.
I've always been like when I had. Thanks to American, I figured out I have Graves' disease. Because remember, we were delayed and we have to run to our next flight.
They told you have cancer, basically. Yeah.
So
that's where it all started.
Because of the delay. But every time I've had American, I've been delayed.
Interesting. And then Southwest is pretty good, no?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I like the boarding situation with Southwest.
What's that
again? Do you with the other airlines, you pick your seat. Some, seats you have to pay for. Some seats, you just choose, which are probably not ideal. But with Southwest, you board group A, B, or C, and you're either numbers 1 through 30 or 30 through 61.
Right.
And so if you're C61, I'm always in a C group. I don't know why.
Yeah. How do people get group A?
So when I was coming back from Idaho, there was a guy with me. And I was like, what's your group? He was like, A12. And I was like, how'd you get A12? He's like, I just fly all the time.
So?
I know.
What does that mean?
And I'm like, I was literally C61. He's like, I tried to save you a seat. I was like, it ain't worth it.
Okay, what? Y'all kiss in the airplane? Try to save you a seat?
Well, because I was in the back.
You don't know this person, though.
No, he was part of the boot camp. Oh. Yeah. Yeah,
I thought this was some stranger and y'all had this conversation and then y'all fell in love and he said that he'll save you a seat.
He was part of the boot camp. He was part of the boot camp. We're going back to Denver. Oh. Yeah. Do you mind the boarding situation with Southwest?
I do.
Oh, you do? You don't mind it?
I know. I think I do, yeah. But I don't fly that often to know any different.
Do you like Southwest board? Oh, no, he's done American.
He's American.
Yeah,
sorry. Anywho.
What's number 1 then? Oh, United. I don't remember.
I'm not
Delta.
Yeah, but
I don't remember Delta too well.
I think what we should do at some point in time is do not a private jet, but the ones where you get is it JetBlue? Where you get your own gate and they drive you to the plane.
I think that's part of the concierge with
yeah, something like that.
You think we'll ever do a private jet?
A little PJ?
Yeah.
Maybe. Wouldn't be bad.
We got to take John with us, too.
Hell yeah.
That'd be crazy if we did a private jet.
That'd be cool. That's so expensive.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anywho, so that's the pit for me. And did you do your pit? This is a 30-minute peaks and pits.
The smell was my pit.
All right, so let's move on. So we went to New Orleans we were there for a good time, not a long time, honey.
Good time, not a long time.
We did 48 hours. We went Thursday to Saturday. And that was the
exact amount of time.
Perfect amount of time.
And we stayed at
the Royal Sonesta.
Right on Bourbon
Street.
Right next to Crescent Pizza.
Hell
and
Willie's Chicken.
I think we, Noelle single-handedly kept Willie's open that weekend.
Yes. This chicken spot was delicious. And everybody was like, you have to try it. You have to try it. But you have to try the biscuits. I'm like, well, how great can they be? And sure enough, they're pretty freaking great.
They're so good. I mean, everyone was drinking, and I wasn't drinking. I didn't drink. Okay, I didn't drink a lot, but they were.
You went into being like, I'm not going to drink, and I'm like,
well, not to say I wasn't going to drink. I said I'm going to be very light.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, baby, it's New Orleans.
Yeah, but I did pretty good. I did.
You did pretty good, but everybody just kept buying everybody drinks.
Yeah, but
and shots and stuff, and you were really good at not drinking all of them.
You know how they do the. I never did that.
You took those shots.
I took those shots.
You thought about doing it,
but I passed a lot of my drinks to you.
Yes, so therefore I got schwasty-fasty for sure that Thursday, but it was a great time, fun time. Oh, yeah. And when you're going to New Orleans, there's places you go to on vacation that you're, maybe a wine tour in Fredericksburg, and you have a cute, sweet, little, lovely moment, or you're going to, I don't know, somewhere and you just take it easy and you sit. When you go to New Orleans,
you know what you're there for. You know what you're there for.
We're there for
business
and pleasure.
Yeah.
So you got to really get it in.
Yeah. We got there and we hit a Crescent Pizza.
You can't mess around.
Yeah.
You're there. I've mentally prepared myself, texting my friend. I'm like, I am mentally prepared to do New Orleans right. Because you have to be a certain amount of buzzed or drunk or happy in whatever way to tolerate the stimulation of Bourbon Street or the French Quarter. There's so much going on. There's every bar, restaurant, club, especially at night, everybody stands outside and tries and pulls you into their bar or
everyone's
club.
Beating a drum or has a snake.
Music. There was these people who were, oh my God, it was, they were, they had these boa constrictors.
Yeah.
Huge snakes.
Is that not a python?
Oh, maybe a python. I don't know my snakes too, my reptiles too. My genres, but they were in these wagons, and at first they're in the middle of Bourbon Street.
Yeah,
and these people are just wagoning around these
massive
snakes
and
lizards. Turtle? No, I don't know. It was a zoo, and they weren't caged or anything. They're literally coiled in this little wagon, and then
you literally walk by it.
And you do a double take because you're like, I didn't just see a snake. It's a big yellow one and a big camouflage looking one.
How come they don't attack people?
Baby. Then everybody, are you listening? They take it out. And then for a tip, they'll put it on your shoulders. Britney Spears style. I'm slave for you. And you can walk around with a damn snake on your shoulders.
I can't do
that.
Snakes.
Is an absolutely not, you could not pay me to do that. I could not stop looking and being like, no, are these animals safe? And are you taking good care of these animals and let them go?
I'm just so worried why they don't attack people. Story, snakes. I don't know why we did this. I was at Eastville Community College, and I don't know why I took this class where it's animal biology or something like that. I think I needed a credit. I have no clue. I learned nothing. But the guy, how these professors, if you find a professor in a specific study or something, they're just so into it.
Yeah, so they made you into
this guy was like, here's the genus, here's the penis, here's all the different things. And he was like, okay, last day of class, to get credit and to pass, you have to come on a field trip.
Wow.
So he took us on a field trip, and this guy brought out a poisonous copper something, diamond copper.
Copperback.
Copper. He brought out a copperback. He brought out a copperhead. Copperhead.
Diamondback. Copperhead.
Yeah, copperback head. And rattlesnake copperhead.
That's what I said, John. Shut up.
So I don't know. And so he brought out 2, and I don't know. It's not this one was poisonous, and he was like, "It's time to let this one go." And like we're in a circle, and like this guy just lets it go on the ground, and we're like, "Oh, what the?" He's like, "Do not worry." He's like one of the. He's like, "Do not worry. This is just fine." Then he brings out another steak. This is not venomous, and he's like, "I swear."
How do you know?
He's the genus penis guy. He's this animal biology. He brought this out, and he was like, "Guys, this one's is not venomous, and it's tame. It's not going to bite you." And he's like, "Let's just pass this around." Obviously, I'm not. I'm like, you guys go ahead. I'm watching out for the copperback. You guys let it go out there. He might double back and attack us. But I swear, he passed it to the first girl, and the girl was like, "Sure, I'll hold it." The snake bit her.
Really?
Yeah, I remember blood being it like bit her on the hand right here in the copperback places. Right here.
Weenus.
Right, in the weenus right here. And she was bleeding, and it was like hanging on. Like,
absolutely
and
not.
He was like, no problems. I never forget that.
He was like, stay calm, stay calm. It's not venomous. It did bite.
Yeah, and I was like, what am I, like, and this is not like in the normal part of Dallas. Like, we went somewhere.
Baby, and that's why you don't take biology courses at a community college.
No, it was you got to get your electives.
You ain't
paying the university
take
price.
Take up hip hop dancing. You do not need to do a biology.
I don't know why
animal biology thing at a community college.
Not
Hell that. No, absolutely not. I hate snakes and sharks. I cannot.
Yeah.
No, sir. So the people were just willingly putting this boa on,
and it was like a yellow one,
and it was yellow, and it was like so slow and slithery, but it didn't do anything. And I was like, are they drugging these animals? Because they were very docile. You know what I mean? Like they just
they were so
on the middle of Bourbon Street. Like picture. Again, my mall analogy, as we did with MD Anderson, a bunch of bald people walking around. Yeah. Picture that on one street, and everybody's drunk, and there's lights like running everywhere, into them, and you're bumping into everybody, and there's music, and there's like, people doing drums.
Liv said this was a wagon they're on. It wasn't a wagon. It was an ice cooler, and they were just on top of there's no like they can just tip over. Like, there was nothing blocking them from... And so, like, literally, people would run into this ice cooler and be like, oh, my gosh, what the...
Yeah.
It's just so crowded.
It's so crowded, and they were just literally chilling.
So that was, like, the whole street vibe of Bourbon.
That's the street vibe. So, I prepared as much as I could.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for the snakes, but that was on the last night, and...
That's not a big deal.
Yeah. So we land, we go to the Royal Sonesta, beautiful hotel.
And we eat at Crescent Pizza.
So you get a pizza by the slice, delicious.
I wish they had pizza by the slices everywhere.
I know. I love a good pizza by the slice.
Wouldn't you just one night, at 7, you're like, I want to get pizza by the slice. I'm going to go grab a slice.
You just grab a slice.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That would just be great. But luckily it was here. Yeah. And so we do Royal Sonesta, a beautiful hotel. Would you highly recommend?
I would recommend. We thought it was going to be extremely loud.
Because it's literally on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Like the cross street is Bourbon Street and Conti or something like that. So I was like, oh man, that's what I was preparing myself for. I was like, it's going to be loud. We're going to need like our white noise machine to sleep. Like it's going to be dirty, people or whatever. It was so clean. Really, it's a historic hotel, which so it was really beautiful.
And the staff was
great. The pool was awesome.
Yeah, we went to the
had
pool
like a bar
and hung out
there
with everybody.
and a grill. So
supposedly the bartender was also the DJ on Sundays.
Yes, I could see it.
Yeah.
But so we got there. Everybody was there from like a morning flight. So when you're meeting up friends and you're trying to get on the same, you're trying to do a couple of things. You're trying to get on the same level of litness as they are, but you're also trying to meet if they're out. So they were out on Bourbon Street, like Pat O'Brien's, and then, they're progressively getting more drunk. So you're texting Noel, like, where y'all at, right? And he's like, we're going here. And then, like, a couple minutes later, it's like, we're doing a pool party back at the hotel. And then the concierge is like, there is no pool party at the hotel. Like, we don't know what they're talking about. And they're like, we're stopping at a bar. We're doing this. So it's like that thing of trying to catch them. Yeah. But it makes it more sweeter when you do.
Oh, I couldn't wait to see them.
Yeah, because it's like that anticipation. I have a video on my Instagram. And there's a clip of Rib looking out the window, and now you'll have context. He was literally looking out the window for his friends.
I was like, where are they?
He was like, where are they? I was like, they're coming, babe. They're coming.
Yeah. I remember.
So we finally all met up with them. Shout out everybody. Like loves the podcast. I was telling John this. They were really
so supportive.
They love it. They think it's so funny. And it was like really great to hear such great positive feedback, catching up with everybody.
And like when you see everyone for the first time in 3 years, it's like you just give a good long hug.
Well, and yours was extra long, baby, because they, you know, the last time they saw you didn't have cancer.
That's very true.
Because I could see those lingering hugs, and they were a little emotional. Yeah, for sure. I could tell there was emotion in that, in the energy. Sure. Which rightfully so. I mean, everybody loves you, and everybody is like, once we told everybody about everything, they were the first to contact you and stuff. But it's different when I can't imagine, because I've never experienced that. Like when you see somebody you haven't seen with this huge life event that happened, and then you see them. Yeah. And so it was really...
And I looked pretty relatively normal.
Yeah, and I think a lot of initially was like, well, you know...
Someone was like, what happened to your ass?
I know. He's like, where's your booty? And I was like...
I just had a dime piece of...
The cancer took it with him.
That's what he said.
Cancer took it with him. But no, it was really fun. So then we went to Bourbon Street, or was it Bourbon Street? Yeah, Bourbon Street. And then we just started drinking. We did a Willie's chicken moment. Yeah.
That's where you had Willie's for the first time.
I had Willie's, and I ordered, I don't know why, I just ordered.
Like you're supposed to get chicken tenders, but you ordered like a 5-piece.
Like a 5-piece. And then they kept saying, get the biscuits, get the biscuits. I didn't know the 5-piece came with 2 biscuits. So I ordered 4 biscuits. Yeah. And so I had 6 biscuits
but it total. Came in handy. The rest of the night literally.
I took my to-go bag of my Willie's chicken, and I was literally walking on Bourbon Street drunk. And like everyone
would come, and like I would see them just take 1-piece chicken, a thigh, some fries, a biscuit. As we're like pretty much you.
So it came in. I knew we were gonna need that later. Yeah. You know, I just felt it.
And you know, the cool part is everyone plays. Obviously, there's so much different music everywhere. Like we went to Razoo's. You don't remember that?
Nope.
The first place we went to was there was no live band, and we were just kind of just dancing, having a good time there. And then the live band came, and it was this white girl, and then so we left and we went to Razoo's, and there was another live band there. I don't know why we went to Phil told us to go to Razoo's. So we went to Razoo's, and there was another live band there. And then we went to like across the street to this like another bar. And then that's kind of what that was.
So it's like, when you go to New Orleans, similar to a lot of music capitals like Austin 6th Street, and originally is known as like a music capital, Nashville, downtown Nashville, and then New Orleans. These are huge music, jazz kind of based cities. So live music is a big part of that culture. And I'm not past live music, but I
have a hard time
when
with it.
You have bad live music, it is really bad. It kills the vibes.
Like I feel like there's more bad live music than I've been to good.
Like if you're gonna do live music, especially when people are trying to have a good time, the song choice has to be there. And you have to be amazing.
Had good live music at Chris's wedding.
Yes.
That was probably the only time.
Right. And he was like really hyped too. Yeah. You have to have live music where you are drinking and you're like talking with your friends, and then they hit a note and you go like, ooh. Exactly. Yeah. And then you go, oh shit. Oh, they're really good.
They got that in. They got that dog in.
Yeah, got it. That did not happen. No. So we started going to places
with DJs,
with like just music and DJs and stuff like that, which is a fun vibe as well. But the live music, I was like, you're good for sure, but you're not making me stay.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
So there was that, and then we went to the bars, and then we came back, and we're like, let's all go. Let's all go to the casino. But I think none of the women wanted to go. It was the guys that wanted to go.
Yeah.
And so on the way back, we stopped by this place called Daiquiris that serves pizza by the slice. It's right next to Royal Sinesta. Mm-hmm. Me and Liv were the first there.
No, this was before y'all went to the casinos. Yeah. And I was like, I want to go do my skincare, take my makeup off and go to bed, take a shower and go to bed.
Yeah, but you wanted to stop to get something.
But I'm like, we're going to get that pizza again, honey.
Yeah, but remember we didn't. It was a long line, so we went to Daiquiri next to Royal Sinesta.
But they had pizza.
Yes. And so we got a slice of pepperoni. It's a huge slice. I was expecting some bites. I was expecting to eat some of this. You know what I mean? It's been a long night. I I turn around and Liv pretty much ate the whole pizza. And I'm not saying it's not a regular ass slice. This is XL.
I was so drunk. I just wanted to eat.
And then as you're eating, everybody piles in. Everybody that we're going out with.
Yeah.
And Juby, I just remember Juby goes to order the pizza. He's like, I want a whole pie. He's like, do y'all do whole pies? He's like, I want a whole pie. And they're like, okay. And he was like, all cheese. He's like, all cheese. I thought that was so funny, just the way he said it. He ordered it. The guy was like, just cheese? And he's like,
just cheese.
Cheese. And
which hits for sure.
And then I remember when they delivered the pizza, it was like me, Subin. I forgot who was next to me. I think Jason. Yeah. And somebody was like, it's a whole, like, who ordered this? Like a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
But like we ended up eating the whole thing.
And it was a huge pizza.
Yeah. And then
other people came in.
And then Robin brought pizza from Crescent Pizza.
Right.
Like a Big Mac pizza, which was pretty good. Like just a slice.
Yeah. The pizza was the star of the show in New Orleans for me. Yeah. The Willie's biscuits were second, but the pizza really did it for
pizza
me.
hit for some reason.
It was so good. We went and did, so that was that night. When you're like, you're feeling good and then you're just drunk. Like you don't know how you got, it's 0 to 60 and you're just like feeling great. You're drinking, you're having a good time. And then, like, you blink and you're obliterated. Sure. That was me Thursday night. Yeah. Like,
and now I got to tell you a funny story, too. So, like, we went back to the hotel after the pizza. And, I had to go take my chemo medication. And so I'm not, like, drinking that much. I remember the whole night.
Yeah. So he kept passing me all of the drinks. And you're there the first night. So everybody's like really excited. I'm getting along with all the girlies, I know all the guys for years. So it's just like this big reunion. Yeah. No, for sure. Like hyping me up.
It's my fault she got that.
Essentially, let it be known it's your fault.
And so, Liv is staying in. I take my chemo meds and I meet everyone up at Harrah's, but I swear everyone kept calling it Harrah's. Oh no, Sylvia's calling it Harrah's. But it was Harrah's. And so we're playing and like they're playing 3-card poker and craps, and I just put 100 down on blackjack and I lose it. Like my blackjack table had no vibe to it. Like usually like everyone has a vibe. It's fun.
The camaraderie.
Like there was no other table like had availability. And so I sat at my table. Literally this old ass Chinese man looks up at me. He's like, He's like, I'm like, crap. And so like I like when I'm at the table like communicating and like trying to get a vibe. Let's help each other out to win. So I get my hand and like the dealer has a 17 or something or a 15, I don't know, like 15, maybe 16. I had a 16 and I've always learned you hit on 16. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I'm like, I'm going to hit anyways. But I asked the guy like, hey, what would you do? He was like, I don't know. Like, God damn, dude. Like I'm just trying to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
So I lose $100. And then this is the funny part. I come back to the apartment and Liv is passed out. Right. And I get into bed and all of a sudden she's like, I'm like, are you okay? She's like, it's so cold in here. I'm like, have you been shivering this whole time or did you just start when I walked in here? I'm like, because if you just started when I walked in here, you couldn't be that cold. And so I go and lower the up. I was like, do you want me to up the temperature? She's like, yeah. So we go from like 66 and I'm like 69 seems like literally I'm like 69 seems like a reasonable number. Let me put it on 69. And like all I hear is like, oh my God, so cold. She's like, can you get me some Tylenol? I'm like, you literally waited, like you went to sleep at 11. I came back at 2. I'm like, you literally waited to make this whole Disney Pixar sound effect when I got back. And I'm like, sure. And I'm laying there and I hear you. I'm like, shh. Like, okay.
It was so cold in
there. And I'm like, why'd you wait till like 5 hours to make sound effects? I remember that. I woke up in the morning. I'm like, why are we making the sound effects? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, I don't remember any of that.
And then I just knew. I was like, I'm gonna need Tylenol. I just know.
Yeah.
I just know. And you gave it to me.
Yeah.
I will have you know that I was not drunk enough to not do my skincare, take a good shower, scrub my feet. The streets be dirty.
And like, I don't know if this is just funny to me because we know like, so we all go to Harrah's, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm behind everybody because I had to take my chemo medication. So I meet them up there and it's like a 5-10 minute walk. Mm-hmm. So I see like Subin and them are in front of me. I see them walking in and I'm like the last one to walk in. And I don't know why this is so funny to me. but like, you know those horse carriages?
Yeah.
And like, it's like a normal, quiet, like walking that direction. It's kind of quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm walking and I see one of my friends just like slumped over in a horse carriage, just pulling up stairs. And I'm like, bro, you okay? And he was like, that was the worst ride of my life. But I don't know, I thought it was so funny.
Was that Jeff John?
Yeah, I'm like, I thought it was so funny because
shout out Jeff.
This guy just pulls up alongside me in a whole ass horse carriage.
Oh my gosh.
Like middle of the night.
Shenanigans.
Like, oh my goodness.
What happens in New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, you just get up to no good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, and then that was just night one. And so I was obliterated. Mm-hmm. And then what the issue is I used to be able to go back to back. Yeah. I used to do like in college, Wednesdays, shout out San Antonioans, Wednesdays at Cowboys, John. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you do a Thursday night somewhere, and then Friday, and then Saturday, and then maybe a Sunday fun day. Honey, no breaks. I was fine and lit every night. So I don't know who I thought I was, thinking I could do the same on this Friday, from Thursday to Friday. I was actually not as hung. I've been far.
Yeah, you weren't that bad.
I wasn't that bad. I was just so tired. Like physically tired. I had bruises. My feet they still look like I'm 9 months pregnant. They were so swollen. Yeah. And we had to go for Simmons' like birthday lunch at this really cool restaurant at Dookie Chase. Which they kept saying, Obama's eating there, there. And it's a historic, like Black-owned restaurant.
I think it was one of the first.
It's really historic. Like you can't wear athleisure. You have to like dress up for this. And so Sheba, Simmons' wife, who just like planned the ultimate itinerary for
she did a great job with itinerary.
These events. Yeah. At 11:30, I was like, that's a perfect time. It's not too early. It's not too late. You know, and I was just really looking forward to it. And so, you know, when you're like kind of still buzzy, but you're okay. So you just are so confident that you're like, I'm good. Like we've passed this. Yeah. So we go to this restaurant. We have like a private room where we all have lunch. The food was great. The vibe was really cool. And then I'm like, I'm going to have a mimosa. One mimosa. Mm-hmm. And then I have 2 sips of my mimosa and my body is like, didn't you thought?
Yeah.
You thought. Yeah. And I just get a wave of just tiredness. Mm-hmm. Like so fatigued. I've never been this fatigued in my life. You know when you just can't like even support your body?
Yeah.
So we finished the lunch, and then from there we were all gonna go to back and
Carousel
go out.
Bar, yeah.
Carousel Bar, which is this really cool bar at a really nice hotel. Yeah. Like then go to Bourbon and do the whole thing. And I was like, I don't think I can do it.
A lot of it too, because I started getting diarrhea. I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
He was like, I need my bathroom.
I walked to the Carousel Bar and I was like,
something in me.
Something about that Dookie Chase. I gotta go to the bathroom.
So he was like, let's just go back to the hotel. And I was like, baby, you know, if we go back to this hotel, we ain't coming back.
That was around like 2, I think. 2 o'clock.
So we took a 65-hour nap.
We slept till like 5 o'clock. Yeah. I felt great.
It was the best nap. And then we went back out. And it was fun.
And then we went to Prohibition Bar. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Literally right across Royal Sonesta. And we're there for like a minute. Yeah. We're having fun. And like, you know, after a while, we're like, let's go get something to eat. And by time, it's like 7. Mm-hmm. Tell me why this place, it's only us. It's all Indian people and one Mexican in Olivia. And tell me why, as we're leaving, they start playing Hindi music.
Oh, yeah.
As they're like, we're like, we started laughing.
And everybody was like, what the hell? But we took up like because how many of us were there? Like, I think 15, Shiva 20, said right? 20, 25. Yeah. Originally it was 30, and then some people like couldn't come. Mm-hmm. So it was, we were taking
we went to Felix's.
Felix Oyster House, which was always good. That's a cute, solid restaurant.
Shout out Jeff John for not knowing what he ordered.
Yeah, and I think who was it who ordered all the damn appetizers?
I don't know. Did Robin order all those?
I don't know. So
he fed like we ate.
I was so full, and they were delicious. Shout out Robin if that was you. Delicious.
Yeah, good choices.
Good choices. We had like the oysters Rockefeller, some
fried oysters,
shrimp oyster fry thing.
Like a dip.
A dip was really good. And then, of course, we're all drinking.
He brought in the variety.
he knew, right? And like, so bang, bang, and everything was like for the table, and so I was so full, but I don't know why we ordered our entrees too, and I was just so full. And then our friend next to us was like, I didn't order this. And we were like, we literally heard you ordering. He's like, I didn't order it, man. Like, do you want it? Do you want this? Oh, I'm not gonna eat it. And we're like, we ordered the same thing you ordered. And then Robin was like, look at him. And you look over and he is stuffing his face with this fish and fries. And he's like, this is finger licking delicious.
Hush puppies on the side, extra appetizers.
He's like, but you didn't order it, right? Yeah. And so that was really fun. And then we went out after, and then I had to go.
Yeah, I was so tired. We walked up and down Bourbon a little bit. My body. That's where we saw the snakes.
Yeah. And then that was it. I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was just really fun. I think the most, like the peak of that trip is just seeing you with your like people. And it feels very much like home for you. It's so special to witness you feeling
even seeing
like home.
It's like crazy. Like I haven't seen any of them. Like even thinking like I haven't seen Jeff John in 3 years. And I used to see him like every week.
Yeah.
You know, or Subin or Noel or Nikhil. Like I used to see them every week, multiple times in the week.
Right. And y'all would do all sorts of things together. Yeah. And but yeah, it just was one of those like you truly just didn't miss a beat with any of them. And you keep up with a lot of them too. It's not like you haven't spoken to them in 3 years, but to be able to see them and just kind of let loose, and everybody generally has a family and kids too. So we were all kind of in the same boat of, you know, taking the time to be away from our family to do this. And it was like super special to see it. Like there's nothing more special to see my baby happy. And he was so happy. And
it's always fun because like the older guys are always like, we would whoop y'all in basketball, and we were like, okay,
yeah,
you know, that's always that fun conversation,
and then like, you talk about your. Every time I'm with you with your friends, Subin always says that he is responsible for you meeting me.
Yeah. Because and Jeff John will say he's responsible for me being a PT.
Yeah. So he's always like he always tells the story of how you need to go to San Antonio and fall in love with a Latina.
Yeah, he told me that right before I came to San Antonio.
Yeah, and you did. And he's like, see, I told you.
Yeah, he's like, see, I told you it's going to happen. And then Jeff John's like, see, I told you you're going to be a PT.
Yeah, and he made you be a PT. So it's just like fun stories like that. Everyone's telling stories. Everybody's known you for literally your whole life. Mm-hmm. You grew up with everybody. And all the girls, all the wives, all the sisters, cousins, everybody that was there was like really cool. Yeah. Really cool too. So it was just a good group. And that's like just the best time. I do have a shout out because I have a new drink for bars that are like where you get like a vodka soda or a beer. You know, when you're like
Noel.
Yeah, when
Shout
you're at like
when
you're at certain bars, it's not like a cocktail bar where you can get like a margarita or an old fashioned or whatever. This is like vodka soda, vodka Red Bull, whiskey Coke.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And I didn't know it's been so long, and I usually drink tequila, but like not tequila. So I was like, okay, what do I drink? Tequila soda. So I did that for a little bit. And then I went back to my like college roots. I'm like, let me do a vodka soda. And your friend Noel was like, what are you drinking? I was like, a vodka soda. He's like, a well vodka soda from the well? And I was like, I think so. It was, and then I was like, these are so cheap. They were like $5. So he's like, that's a well vodka soda. And he was like, let me put you on. And so he got me a Ciroc watermelon with Sprite. Ciroc watermelon vodka.
I sipped it
with Sprite.
It was delicious.
Shout out Noel. That's my new drink. Yeah. It was so good. And it was so good that I was like making everybody else try my drink, and it was really good.
So good choice, Noel.
Yeah, shout out to Noel for that and all of your friends. We love
have you ever had a green tea shot?
No.
I never heard of that.
What is that?
It tastes like green tea, right? Oh, Jameson? Oh, really?
Okay, well, let's list the names of the shot. Because back in my day, and that's where my heritage came out, where I was like, I typically just shoot tequila, like, you know, a tequila shot.
Sure.
And they were like, green tea shots, green apple shots, star effer shots,
Only when I know, like, I get so nervous to order like a shot for everybody because I don't know what to say. All I order is lemon drop.
Lemon drops was a big one. Pink lemonade was another one. And I think I'd rather just shoot tequila.
The green tea was, I had one. That was good. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I just assumed that was vodka, but it's Jameson apparently.
Yeah, it didn't taste like Jameson.
Yeah. But there's so many options for shots these days. Like, I just felt so
I didn't have it, but like, remember this guy was serving purple Red Bull?
Oh, that was not good.
You tried it? I didn't have that.
Yeah, it was a shot. It was like a blueberry Red Bull with vodka and something, and it wasn't good. It tasted like medicine.
Yeah.
But the shot culture, I felt very old because I was like, what are people shooting these days? Yeah. And then everybody was just like, this and that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I just
remember in college, somebody ordering, what is it, 4 Kingsmen? 4 Horsemen?
Is that a shot?
What is that, 4 different whiskeys? What is a horseman? It's like the people on the horses.
Wait, like a 4 horseman shot is 4 different whiskeys? What?
Oh, 4 different alcohols. I remember when I was like first year
I probably do college. Yeah.
Someone ordered that and it's just nasty, but I was like, I think they'd explained it as like it's whatever alcohols, like the brand of the person. Like they're on a horse or something like that.
Okay. I could see that.
I think so. Maybe I made that up.
I would do tequila shots, Rumpelmint's shots.
Oh, is that like the mint?
Yeah. My cousin, shout out Chris and David from Houston. They freaking love Rumpelmint shots. I specifically just...
Do you like Fireball?
I like Fireball.
Do you like Fireball? I can't do the cinnamon.
I kind of like it. Because it's like a little sweet.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it.
It burns, but if it's cold, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And then what was another one of shots? Yeah, just a lot of different. I learned so much about the shot culture.
Yeah, there's so much, so many different things. But the watermelon or Ciroc
watermelon with Sprite, it was perfect.
That's worth it.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
So shout out Noelle. Thank you for buying them for me.
Yeah.
And everybody was so sweet. They were like, you think Ribu wants a drink? And I was like, it's okay. Like, he'll just have sips of mine. So they were like really courteous. Yeah, everyone was cool too. Like nobody was like shoving down.
But like that was my first time probably ever going out and not in an event like that and not drinking.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun.
Oh,
I had a great time.
Yeah, you had a great time. Yeah.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, man, am I even going to be able to keep up? Like, I had a blast.
No, you were fine. Yeah. Because when you get really drunk, it's too. Remember at Jen and Jason's wedding?
But that's rare.
That's probably too much.
That's like happens one in a blue moon. I never get that drunk.
Right.
But the reason I got that drunk was because me and Subin started like early.
Yes,
well before the
MCs.
thing. Yeah, and so like I never drink that much.
Yeah.
But like usually I
had to make him a bed by the toilet and tucked him in with the sheet.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a fun night too. Yeah. Shout out to Jason.
I have pictures.
Maybe their wedding was a blast.
Yeah, so it was really fun, and this was really fun too. And everybody was great, and the vibes were immaculate. The drinks were great, flowing. Food was awesome, and the perfect 48 hours. I could not have done another day.
Yeah,
24 hours would be a little too short because the issue is, do you want to get drunk when you're there the first day, so then the second day you're kind of slowly recovering, or do you go pace yourself the first day, get drunk the second day, but then you have to catch a flight the next day? And I didn't want to be like incredibly hungover.
I think it was great being the first day because everyone was on the same page,
right?
And like we were just dancing, having fun.
Yeah,
like there's some moves like y'all don't know. I swear
this boy has some moves.
I did a lot of Bhangra dances. Great choreographers. Shout out Tina.
Yeah.
Great choreographers, you know what I'm saying? Little pop.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like, you know how you pull the heart out of somebody's chest?
You kept doing that, and I was like,
I did it once.
Put your hand down.
Shout out Ebby. Ebby's heart. Took it out. Put that back in.
Yeah, so it was a really good time. All right, let's wrap up. How do you feel? You guys, let us know in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube, or can you leave a comment on Spotify? Or make a comment on Spotify, or better yet, follow us on Instagram and DM us. But let us know if you like the vibe of this without the laptop phone and me being like reading through the prompts and outlines.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
I thought it was better. Like I didn't have to look down at my phone.
Yeah, I thought so too. Because usually I'd be like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Next?
And let us know. We eventually want to bring on a guest too.
Who do you think?
So like, let us know who a good guest would be.
A good guest would be.
That.
I say John.
He ain't gonna do it.
But maybe
he wants to be blurred out and have one of those voices like, you know,
where they change the voice.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what he wants to be.
So let us know all of that. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Yeah. And we will catch y'all next time. Bye.